Good evening, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the top 10 games that I've played this year. So not the top 10 games of 2023, but the top 10 games that I've played. This is my second video in 2 days. You're lucky people. But I'm going to jump straight in to honourable mentions first actually. So the honourable mentions are the 5 games that just missed out in the top 10 that I wanted to highlight as well. So the first one here is from the wonderful Marcus at Dad and Lads Gaming. He sent this one up to me and I smashed through it. Really enjoyed it. And it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Really enjoyed this game. The only thing that kind of let it down for me was it's a bit grindy. There was a lot of level restrictions that you couldn't continue the story beat until you reached a certain level. But apart from that, everything about the game is brilliant. The world, the characters. I went Alexios and I did Alexios' story. It's fantastic. And like the world map, when I finished the game, there was still like, it must have been like 60% of the world map that was still undiscovered. It's a massive game, but it was done right and I really enjoyed it. And I touched on briefly in my last video, Breath of the Wild. Like, for me, this is how you do a bloody open world game. Like, there's story, there's different arcs, there's everything. Like, it's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I think that Zelda Breath of the Wild tried to touch on the success that Assassin's Creed games were having with Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla, and they just didn't get it right. But these games, those 3, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, were brilliant. And I think the newer one, Mirage, kind of like condensed it a little bit because they were getting a bit big, like a bit too much maybe. But really enjoyed Odyssey. Just didn't make the top 10 though. Next one is an RPG that I played this year, and I've only ever played one of this series before, and it was Zestiria, and this one is Tales of Arise. Thoroughly enjoyed this as well. The graphics are absolutely stunning. It's a fantastic action RPG with great storyline, fantastic characters. We've got Shion and Iron Mask, Alfred, and they just released a DLC for it this year as well. I've not played the DLC. To be honest, it's a bit steep for a DLC for me. The same with another game in my top 10 list. I think it's 20 quid, I think it is. Like, I will go to it maybe eventually, or maybe when it drops down in price. But what I played through the whole game of this and absolutely loved it. It had a great story, great environments. Very highly recommended. The soundtrack is brilliant as well. Like the intro part, I released a short on this as well, and it was just ace, man. The characters and the music and the special moves. It's just very bombastic. It's fantastic. Loved it. Next one is a classic first-person shooter for the PC, but I played it on the Xbox 360 through the orange box, but I've got the physical of the Xbox version here, Half-Life 2. Brilliant. I mean, this is just a staple. It's just Half-Life games are amazing. Like, I played the first one last year. Like, I played them both before. Absolutely love them. But a fun fact as well, we were on the gamer quiz, the retro gamer quiz. That used to be hosted by Paul Retrobait. It's now hosted by Martin Hobby Lodge. And I released a short of this like a couple of months before that quiz that I was on, and it was a shot of I don't remember what you called the guy, but the guy in the black suit you see kind of walking about in the games, and he said something like, "The right man in the right situation can make all the difference in the world." And that quote came up in the retro gamer quiz, and I won a point, and the other guys didn't know what it was. I was well chuffed with that. As soon as Martin started saying it on his stream, what part of the question, I was like, I know exactly what that is. I was loving it. So, note to self, it's worth playing your games because you can win points in the retro gamer quiz. Next one is a game series that I don't know too much about. I've definitely played the first one. I think I've played the second one, but this one is just was just brilliant, and I highly recommend it. And it's Halo Reach. If you think Star Wars Rogue One then you're going along the right path. It's just brilliant, and there's a very cool storyline. Obviously, like I mentioned, Star Wars Rogue One, that kind of, it's in that kind of ilk, but fantastic. The Halo games haven't ever really interested me that much. Like I do like them, but I've never went further into that series. But Halo Reach was peak. It's so good. And then the last one, the last honourable mention, sorry, is Chrono Cross on the PlayStation. So I remember playing this years and years and years and years and years ago, when me and my little brother were younger, obviously. I remember seeing it on like a games show that was on like late at night. I can't remember what it was called, but I remember seeing like the CGI of it, and I just thought that looked absolutely brilliant. And you can't, I don't think you can get this in PAL territories. I think it was only in America and Japan. Actually, I'm pretty sure I've got it here. So we've got the Japanese version as well. Like I just absolutely loved this game. It was so cool. The amount of characters, the storyline, everything was just fantastic. And even playing it, I bought it for the Switch, so I didn't play these discs. I played it on the Switch. It was on sale, and it was just a fantastic game. It's absolutely brilliant. I love, even playing it this year, I love the 2D pre-rendered backgrounds. I love all that feeling, all the characters. I really enjoy the battle system. I know that takes a bit of flack in it, and I know that a lot of people don't rate this game that highly. They always compare it to Chrono Trigger, and like that's a game I've never played before, so I don't have that comparison to make. But this game is stellar, fantastic, PS1 era RPG. Loved it. But anyway, let's move on to the top 10. So my top 10 this year, top 10 games that I've played this year was, so and number 10 is Madison. Brilliant little game. It's a horror game, obviously, and it's like it's a walking simulator. But the thing about this game is, and Eddie's mentioned it, Mark's played it, Ross has played it, a whole bunch of guys in the 52 club played it, finished it, and they all loved it as well. The really cool thing about this game was the sound design. The sound design is sensational. Honestly, it's second to none. You play with your headphones on in the dark, and you honestly have a very unnerving feeling. Like you can hear like doors closing and cupboards slamming and floorboards creaking. It's a fantastic experience. And then there's a part where you go down in like a well into the water. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but that part down there, you have to take like pictures in the flash, and oh my god, it's such an engrossing game. Highly recommend it. Sadly, I did recommend it to Jen at Retro Rivals, and she wasn't that impressed. I think she said that she was just a bit desensitized to horror games because she plays a lot of bloody horror games. But honestly, this game just gave me the chills. It was just that terrifying. Honestly, like playing it in the dark, headphones on, like I said, that's the key environment to play it in. Like, don't play it with people, don't have people around. Like, make the time, play it by yourself in dark, headphones, and you'll have a fantastic experience with it. So Madison, number 10. Number 9, what did I put number 9? So a game I don't have physically, but it's a 2D retro, modern retro game, sorry, and it's Kaz and the Wild Masks. This game is so bloody addictive. I loved it to pieces. I played it on the Switch. I will go and try and find it now on the PS4 because I think I will play it again and go for them trophies. So on the Switch I played it and I finished everything 100%. Like I was so addicted to it. Like it's just pinpoint perfect platforming. Obviously the wee rabbit thing, animal that you control, Kaz. You get different masks, different abilities. You get like a shark one where you're underwater. You've got like a bird one where you fly. Obviously a wee lizard that turns it into like an auto runner. and those levels are really fun as well. And it's just so addictive. Highly recommended, and you can get it for cheap usually on the Switch. So that's where I got it. I think like £2 or something like that. But Kaz Wild Masks at number 9. Where am I now? Number 8. So this one split. This one split quite a few folk. I know my good pal Generation Pixel hates it. Hates this game, and that's baffling to me because I think it is wonderful. And that game is Final Fantasy 16. What a fantastic game, honestly. I just played it again. I just started another file yesterday. I started on the Final Fantasy mode. I think that's kind of like the hard mode kind of thing. And I'm definitely gonna go back to it to play in Final Fantasy mode because they've just released the DLC, and I'm struggling to remember the name of the DLC. I think it was Echoes of the Fallen and Rise of the Tide or something like that. I can't remember. But brilliant game, and I remember when before this game released, they put out a demo, and the demo is pretty much the epilogue, prologue, like the start of the game kind of thing. And that demo, man, when I finished that demo, I was just shocked. My jaw was on the floor. I was just like, I'm so ready for this. It was fantastic. It was like a big, massive Icon battle. So Icon are the summons, and it was Ifrit versus Phoenix. And then at the conclusion of that fight, it was heartbreaking. It was brilliant. It was well written. Everything. And then when I got the game, played through the game, fantastic, honestly, doesn't skip a beat. The battle music, I still think this battle music is up there with the best. Honestly, it's obviously we've got the nostalgic feelings for Final Fantasy 7s, and that's obviously that's my favourite Final Fantasy, 100%. But this game's up there, man. Honestly, it's so good, so bloody good. Final Fantasy 16, number 8. Number 7. So this is the only game on the list that I've played before, and it's testament to why it's on the list because I love it to pieces. So I finished it before on the PS4, and I platinumed it on the PS4, and then I got it again on the PS5 and played through it again. And honestly, it's just perfect. It's just amazing, and it's Control. Love this game to pieces. I know. Hyper Trigger EX Dylan, I think we were talking about it at one point, and he said that he struggled with the map and the layout of it, which is a fair comment. But for me, I didn't really struggle that much with the map and the layout. I just thought I honestly can't fault this game. It is brilliant. I've went on a wee bit of a Remedy kick this year, so I played Alan Wake 2, obviously. Played Control, I played Quantum Break, I played Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which should be an honourable mention as well because that was really cool, really short, but just really, really cool to go back and do more Alan Wake. But Control is brilliant, and the things that I really love about Control is like the kinetic kind of combat. Like everything feels punchy and everything feels weighty. Like you've got when you're ripping up the concrete and throwing it at the enemies and things like that. Like the only thing I can compare the combat to kind of is like God of War, when you're throwing the axe and the axe comes back and you're smashing the axe against the baddies and all that. It just feels meaty and crunchy, just like this. This combat is up there with God of War. Brilliant. Control is fantastic. I think at the Platinum on PS5 though. Maybe I'll go back and do that because it's just, I will play Control again and again and again. It's just fantastic. Game number 6. So game number 6 I don't have physically either, and it's like an indie game. A lot of people played it this year on the Game Club 52 as well, and that's Inside. Inside was a wonderful game, like so cool. There's a lot of games like that I could have put in here, like Little Nightmares as well, but I picked Inside because Inside really was so atmospheric, and the graphics were fantastic as well, and just like the story of the wee boy like, trying to escape and everything. I mentioned this to Geordie Slasher as well, like I really got kind of Control vibes from Inside, which is weird because like they're not connected in any way. There's nothing to highlight that they're the same thing at all. But just when you're playing Control, sorry I'm talking about Control again, not Inside, but when you're playing Control, you've got the objects of power and the, oh my god, I can't remember all the words, all the phrases, but I could just imagine that like there was these oh my god, what am I trying to say? There's these like rooms and they'd have something in it, like there's a fridge, this is Control, sorry. There's like a fridge, and then there's like a rubber duck, and then there's a swan, all that sort of stuff. And I could just imagine like one of them rooms having like a little red jumper, and it's a little red jumper that the wee boy wears in Inside, and that's his story. So inside the room in Control would have like a little red jumper, and then from that little red jumper in that room would be the game Inside. Stupid, I know, but that's just what I kind of took from it. Aye, silly, but Inside is just brilliant as well. And at the end, when you get, well, I can't spoil, I won't spoil the end, but when you get towards the end and all this stuff kind of happens, it's just kind of weird. It's kind of a weird ending, but loved it. Inside is fantastic, and one game that's really, really cheap on Switch eStore as well. Usually drops down to £1, £2, whatever. Definitely grab that. Game number 5 is SpiderMan 2. What a game this is, man. Oh my god. And the fact that this is at number 5 is again testament to the games that are position 4, 3, 2, 1, because this game is stunning in every sense. It's got amazing graphics, amazing soundtrack, a fantastic storyline. Like the way that they've worked Miles and Peter into the storyline, and the way that it kind of organically evolves, I guess, between the two of them. And I'm sure everyone's seen the videos and everything. Like when Peter gets the black suit, it's just cool, man. Like his character arc, kind of the way it kind of moves and goes up and down, and it's just brilliant. Craven as well. What a bad guy he is. And then Venom as well. Sorry. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? But aye, brilliant game. The photo mode as well. Oof, what a photo mode this has got. The thing that really kind of grates a little while though is like I'm really into my photo modes. Like I love photo modes. And when I was playing the game, I was going to put my photo modes, I was putting my pictures on Twitter, things like that. And it was really cool. But the thing is, like, on Twitter, there's pages and channels or whatever that just do Spider-Man. It's like, it's mad. Like, I love photo modes in all games. Like, I do photo modes everywhere. But there's like too much Spider-Man, in my opinion. Like, and that's terrible. That's terrible to say for me. Sorry. But aye, there is Spider-Man. But there's hundreds of games out there to play, man. I love taking photo modes, and this has got one of the best photo modes. In fact, like even on that subject, like there's a part in the game where it's nighttime, and honestly, for like 2 months, all I seen was like people's pictures of the nighttime part. Like there's no day-night cycle in the game, I don't think. So these people were obviously just in the nighttime part and not progressing the story, and I was just like, that's silly, man. Play the game, finish the game. But anyway, Spider-Man 2, what a game, fantastic. Position number 5. Number 4. This game I watched Ross Bahaha. He was streaming this game, and like as soon as I seen it, I was like, I need to play that because it looks absolutely stunning, and it's Kenna Bridge of Spirits. Again, Geordie's played this. Ross Bahaha streamed it. Ross Bahaha, he actually, I'm sure he did. He platinumed PS4 version, and then I'm pretty sure he went on to the PS5 version and platinumed that as well because he enjoyed it that much. It is absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's just so good. It's hard to kind of put into words how good it is. Like, it's kind of like a action adventure game in the ilk of the older, not the older, the 3D versions of Zelda before Breath of the Wild. Like, this is the Zelda game that should have came instead of Breath of the Wild. It's so bloody good, graphically amazing. The storylines as well, so you've got to collect these masks from like ghosts, like spirits, and each story is really, really nice and engrossing, that you really get pulled into them, especially the first story with the, I don't know if they're twins, but the two little kids, and it's just so sad and lovely and everything. Like, the graphics are top notch. Like, it feels like you're playing a Pixar DreamWorks kind of game, movie, sorry. It hits every beat, it's fantastic. Highly recommend it for anyone who likes the older style Zelda games, or like Darksiders and things like that. Like, that's what this kind of reminded me of, and absolutely loved it from start to finish. And then you've got the wee rots, I don't even see them, that was a wee stick on the back there. Those wee rots, man, they are so sickeningly adorable. Okay, but fantastic, love it, loved it. So that's position number 4. Position 3, so this is a game that I finished, I think it was maybe 3 games ago. So I played the first one of this back at the beginning of the year, and I really enjoyed it, thought it was a good game. But this second one, the sequel, it really steps it up. Like, it turns it to 11, and the sequel is wonderful, absolutely fantastic, and it's a Plague Tale Requiem. Honestly, the first one's a good game, it really is a good game, and this one just takes it like, boom, out the stratosphere. It's fantastic. The story, the characters, the graphics, the music, and in particular when we're talking about the characters, it's more the kind of emotional draw towards the characters. I know Paul ain't Northerner, he's not a fan of the wee boy, he's not a fan of Hugo, but honestly when you're playing this game and you find out all the revelations about the macula that the wee boy has, you can't hate him anymore. Honestly, you just feel so sorry for him, you feel so sad, and it's just, it's perfect storytelling. It only ends the only way it could end, and that's the only thing I can say about it. I won't spoil the ending at all or anything like that, but also like the emotional turmoil, the oh my god, it's such a good game. I can't stress it enough. The Amicia, so the big sister, the fact that she gives everything of her being to help her little brother is so heartwarming, and not even that, like, heartbreaking as well. Like, it's just so sad. Like, there's a couple of times in the game where you're just kind of like running through it, and I remember one part in particular, like, Hugo had to wait outside and you had to go and do this series of puzzles and stuff, and you got to like a workbench or something like that, and it was just like a little bit of animation. She just like breaks down and starts crying, like, because she's just done, she's tired, and you can feel that through the storytelling and the performance of Amicia. Honestly, fantastic game, absolutely loved it, brilliant. Game number 2, so I don't want to pipe on about this too much, because I know that I'm going to oversell it now and people are going to play it and think, what the fuck's he talking about? The game's alright, it's not that good, but it really is that good, and Dave Tyler, he'll back me up on it. Returnal, what a game, man, honestly. Like I said in my last video, I almost gave up on it because I didn't know what to make of it, but when I got back into it and I started doing my runs and knowing that not each run is decisive, if that makes sense, like you can unlock little bits of the story and things like that, but then when you do your big run and you put your effort into it and you get to the end and it's just so rewarding, it's fantastic. Honestly, the gameplay loop is second to none. There's a couple of times like I would have like a couple of runs and they would be short-lived, but you just jump straight back in, because there's no loading, there's no like retreading familiar territories, because it's randomly generated as well. And this is probably not selling it that much, but honestly, when you do that one run, I'm pretty sure Dave said that he played it. I'm pretty sure he said he was on a run for like 9 hours. Like, that's mad. It's just brilliant. Honestly, that needs to be played by everybody, anybody. It's just brilliant. But you have to give your time to it. Like, don't just put it on, like I nearly did. Returnal, number 2, and then number 1. Number 1 is my game of the year. Game of the year that I've played this year, and game of the year for 2023, and it's Alan Wake 2. My good lord, what a game, honestly, man. And there's still bloody schmucks out there that won't play it because it's digital only. Get over it, man, and get it played, because it's, oh, you will love it. You will absolutely love it. You will lap it up. It just hits different. It's like so obviously we played Alan Wake. If you played Alan Wake, the first one, that was released what, 15 years ago, 13 years, something like that, and it shows its age. But this one is obviously a modern game. It's got all the modern sensibilities. It's got a much better soundtrack. The characters interact a lot better. The characters control a lot better. Everything is just better. Obviously, in the first game, it's just, and like when I was playing Quantum Break. So this year I played Alan Wake, American Nightmare, Quantum Break, and Control, and then Alan Wake 2. All those games before, everything like Remedy have learned from those games have transitioned into Alan Wake 2. Like, they've perfected their craft. Honestly, it's just so bloody good. It's so fantastic. So you've got Saga, obviously, and then you've got Alan Wake. So it's two kind of separate stories going on, but they're combined as well. I don't want to talk too much about the story and things like that, but just everything, like the art design, the music. I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen as well, probably. It was at the Game Awards. What was the name of the song? The Herald of Darkness song. Oh man, that level is so cool, man. It was so cool, and I wasn't expecting it. So I didn't watch any like pre-stuff of Alan Wake 2. I was really bought into it as soon as I knew it was coming out, and I thought, I'm not going to spoil it, I'll not watch anything. And then it came out the day before my birthday, so it came out 27th of October. The missus bought it for me for my birthday digitally, obviously. She bought the digital deluxe edition, so all the future kind of add-ons and all that are there straight off the bat. So I've still got more to do on it, and I'm going to play it again as well soon. Aye, fantastic. Like, scary as well, really scary at parts. The shooting, way back when I played the first Alan Wake, I really enjoyed the flashlight and gun combo. Like, loved that. I thought it was really, really cool that you've got to kind of like wear down the darkness with your torch first, and then you shoot them and finish them off. I don't know what else to say about it without spoiling the game. It's just fantastic, and the performances are incredible, both from Alan Wake, Saga Anderson, and all the kind of side characters. And I do have a little bit of a theory. So, can't mind his real name. He was in Quantum Break, and they played Jack Joyce in Quantum Break. Oh, I can't mind his real name, but anyway, he's in this as well, and he's playing Sheriff Breaker. And my theory is that Sheriff Breaker is Jack Joyce, just in a different universe. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do, because Sheriff Breaker mentions in the game that he sometimes has dreams that he's doing something else with somebody else, so that just made me think, that's the same guy, man. It has to be the same guy. Anyway, man, Alan Wake 2 is peak. Best game of the year. Best game I played this year. Aye. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.